I'm Dr. Mike Oluniyi of the Abiding Grace Foundation. This program is for couples who desire to make their home a delight, just as God, who created marriage, intended it to be. In matters arising in marriage, we usually look at those core issues around which most problems develop in marriage. As you listen to today's edition, it is hoped that you will be reminded of some of the things you might have forgotten and possibly learn new ones which will affect your home positively towards being one that will give you pleasure until the end, just as God intended marriage to be. Once again, I welcome you to Matters Arising in Marriage. In our last episode, we looked at the seventh part on family finance. That is matters of savings and investments. Matters of savings and investments. And in it, we discussed the issue of savings in a family, savings and investing your money. We looked at various steps you may take to invest. We recognize the fact that it is so difficult for many people to save money, but even if you cannot save directly, invest your money. Use your money to do things that will multiply your resources in the future. Not just spending money, but using it for something that will be valuable to you in the future. For instance, purchasing properties such as real estate, purchasing equipment which can make you to increase your future earnings, acquiring further education, writing book in your area of interest, taking insurance policies, learning a trade, buying stocks, joining and participating in a cooperative society, educating your children, renovating your property and equipment. All these are ways of saving and investing your money, because any of these is bound to affect, your finances positively in the future. And we also looked at some of those factors that prevent many of us from saving and investing. Now, the first one is ignorance, then inability to delay gratification we want to enjoy now. It's one of the reasons why many people cannot save, and neither can they invest their money. Then love for shortcuts, distractions, love for luxury goods, lack of self-discipline, inability to carry out your spouse along in taking decisions. Then the feeling that it will always be easy. These are some of those factors that prevent so many people, so many families from investing their resources. So that was how far we went during the last episode, and our quote was, "Don't squander the resources available for you now. Your future may depend on it." Don't squander the resources available for you now. Your future may demand for it. Today we are going into the last in our series for family finance. That is matters of debt avoidance / elimination. Matters of debt avoidance and elimination. Proverbs chapter 2 verse 27 is our scripture for today. It goes thus: "The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender." The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. One of the major problems that arise concerning family finance is the issue of debt. There are a lot of families that are neck deep. There are a lot of families that are neck deep in avoidable debt. They don't like the situation, but instead of getting out of it, they are rather getting deeper and deeper into more debts due to ignorance. We're going to look at the matter of debt from two angles today. Now, we look at it from the angle of avoidance, avoiding debt as a family. Never go into debt without ensuring that it is unavoidable and that you are using the money for a productive purpose, which you should be able to pay back. Never go into debt unless you are sure that it is unavoidable and that what you're going to spend the money on is productive. Avoid taking loan just for pleasure. The second point is that you have aversion for debt. Have aversion for debt. Hate taking loans. Remember that no loan is free. There is payback, and usually with interest. If anybody tells you that he's going to give you loan, don't first of all look at that person as a friend, because the person is only marketing his own this thing. Be sure that the reason why you want to take that loan is something that will expand your resources in the future. So there's no loan that is free. You're going to pay back, and when you're going to pay back is going to be with interest. Be convinced that whatever you may use loan for may be achieved with your resources. Whatever you want to take a loan for, it is also possible for you to achieve it with your own resources. The only thing is that it will take a longer period of time. So if there is nothing wrong with it taking a longer period of time, why don't you use your resources? At least you will avoid the interest that you're going to pay on loan. Then be convinced that pressure for loan repayment can shorten your life. If you must take loan, please take note of the following. Number one, there's no free loan. You have to pay back with interest. No free loan anywhere. There is always an interest attached to the loan that you are going to collect. The only problem is that, sometimes it is hidden. Except maybe you are just getting something from a friend or family members that you pay back. If you are taking maybe from bank or from a society somewhere, usually there is interest. But sometimes you don't really look at it, because you don't look at it critically. You have the feeling that that person is doing you favor. No, you have to pay back and you're going to pay interest on it. The second point that you should always remember when you are taking loan is that you should ask yourself whether you really need the loan before the offer comes. Because once the offer comes, most people are not able to say no. Before the offer for loan, before you tidy things up, ask yourself, do you really need this loan? Do you really need this loan? Be honest with yourself. Because, for instance, if you apply to the bank for a loan, once the offer letter comes, in fact, it's like there's a spirit behind loan. Once it is offered to you and you know that this thing is going to work, even if you don't need it, your head is already making calculations on how you are going to use it. In fact, if there is any delay, you can do a lot just because of anybody that delays it may become your enemy. It's like there's a spirit behind it. When you want to do everything, the whole of your thinking will be focused on the loan. Think very well before the offer comes, because once the offer comes, you may not be able to say no again. Then the third one is honestly look at your finances. Will you be able to pay back? Will what you are obtaining the loan for increase your capacity to generate more income? Honestly look at yourself very well. Your present income, can you pay back the loan with your present income? For instance, if you are earning 100,000 per month, you have to spend on rent, spend on this, spend on that. At the end of the day, maybe you don't have more than 5,000 left. At the end of it, in fact, for many people, you don't even have anything left. You're not going to pay a loan that will require you to be paying 50,000 naira back every month. Well, if it is something, maybe you are going into business, it's going to expand your business base, well, no problem. But if that loan is not something that is going to, improve your earnings, you're already going into trouble. Something will suffer for it. So look at it very well. Will you be able to pay back? Or will that loan you're going to take, will it expand the resources that you are having so that you'll be able to pay back easily. Then imagine the worst case scenario. In case you can't pay back, what are the implications? Will your family be able to accommodate the consequences of not paying back? If your residence is being used as collateral, what will happen to your family if you can't afford to pay back? Ask yourself the question. The answer to the above questions may help you to decide whether to go ahead and accept the loan or not. We have looked at avoidance of loan. Now let's look at the situation where you have already obtained the loan and it's giving you a problem. You want to eliminate the loan. Let there be the desire and determination to be free from debt. That is very important. Nobody really enjoys being a debtor, but the elimination of debt requires the determination to take some steps which one may not be able to take otherwise. Some of the steps which you may have to take to be debt-free are as follows. Number one, prayerfully determine that you want to get out of debt. Make up your mind. Determine that you want to pay the debt. Then the second one is determine your financial situation by frankly listing all the debts that you owe. You may look at the possibility of selling some of your possessions in order to reduce the debt. It looks somehow to people, but the truth is that if you have to sell a possession to offset debt so that you don't keep on accumulating, interest, it may be in your best interest. Then number three, open up to your spouse about the details of the debt. Don't make it a secret. Then number four, stop adding to your debt by refusing to add fresh debts, however attractive the terms may be. Then number five, cut down on expenses so that you may be able to save some money, which may be identified as usable for repayment. Then number six, you may also consider an activity that may bring in extra income that may be used for repayment. 7, have a repayment plan for each of the debts you are owing and communicate with your creditors. 8, avoid any temptation to suspend repayments, because once you default, the interest is compounded and borne by you. Number 9, never allow the fear of your creditors to demobilize you or cripple your health, because it will complicate matters. Instead of fear, plan and face reality. Discussion points with your spouse. How can we eliminate the debts that we are currently owing? I pray for you that the Lord will help your life. If you are in debt, the Lord will grant you the grace to be able to plan effectively towards it and eliminate it from your life in the name of Jesus. Our quote for this week is, debt can shorten your life. Run away from it. Till I come your way again next week, same station, same time. I'm Dr. Oluniyi of the Abiding Grace Foundation. Let the matters that will be arising from your home be matters that God will be proud of. Secondly, keep appreciating God for your spouse. I'm yours sincerely, Dr. Oluniyi of the Abiding Grace Foundation. For counseling or reactions, you may reach me before then on +234 803 471 4015. God bless your home.